Hello, everyone. Many apologies for the later reading. Excuse me. Uh, I typically try to do this at 11:11 a.m. Or at least beforehand, so that you all can tune into it. And my schedule got slightly shifted. Um, I'm not going to pivot the show this time again. However, I am going to. I'm going to have to do a live taping and then record it. So, if for those who are used to the Ask B sessions and requesting for a live reading, I'm going to have to pivot that portion of it to another day, to another show. Maybe it's just to Ask B, right? For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Magoon. I also go by B, and I'm an instrument for spirit. Excuse me. I am an instrument for spirit to use as spirit pleases at any given moment in time. So you're going to see me operate in a multitude of gifts and giftings. And today, actually last night, I had a conversation with a group of people, and it became interesting. And I've been thinking about it all day. It hasn't consumed me to the point where it's like it's taking over my thought pattern. It was more so of, what is this? Um, and it is because for some of them, not for all, they have been very disrespectful. So when I commented on them, now they're playing victim, and I think it's funny. Um, but I said I don't think it's. I asked myself, I was like, what is this? What is happening? And it got me to thinking that oftentimes we go through battles and we don't know where they're coming from. We don't know why there's an opposition. And it's not all the often or all the time something that we can see. Sometimes we get into a space and we're so stressed out that we don't see the real problem, and so we'll blame a situation or something that happened on someone else, or vice versa. Someone will blame a situation on you when it's something else that's happening. Now, I will say that normally I would suggest that maybe it's something internal, like a mental health thing, but sometimes it can be an external issue that you can't see. There are evil entities that play tricks on people. There are evil entities that take hold and jump on people and use them as puppets. If you've ever seen the movie Puppet Master, it's sort of like that. It's a spiritual parasite. That's what it is. And so, even in this space, we have to recognize and understand that the things that we're going through may not necessarily be something that we can fight. It might be energy that needs to be clear. It could be a karmic energy. And when it's something karmic, it doesn't mean that you've done it in this lifetime. It's maybe something that you've done in a previous lifetime. And I know some people have a hard time uh, even exploring that space, right? Some people don't know if they've here lived before, and then there's others that say, I felt like I've lived here before. Then we also have to understand there's still the shiftings with the planetary alignment, and it is what it is. The planets really do have a gravitational spiritual pull on us, and they pull us in every which way. And if you don't understand how to use that energy properly, everything will feel like it's going in disarray. Now, one thing about me is I have been intentional all my life about keeping a peaceful state of mind, and spirit has pushed me and developed me over the last few years to tap into that space even more. So now I have a very heightened spiritual presence of peace around me at all times, even in times of heated discussions. And when someone is so used to who you used to be, because I'm will admit I can be a hothead. Okay. If you rub me the wrong way, baby, you will see all this Sagittarian Leo fire that lives within me. Okay. I'm just going to be real with you. And I tell people, and I'm a water sign as my sun sign, but I'm not hot steam. I'm not blowing steam. I'm boiling water. Okay. Boiling water is hot. Boiling water can melt. And there's a lot of things that you can use with boiling water. And so tonight I am, although I have started the discussion with the explanation, I am going to pull cards to see what the collective is dealing with as it pertains to what is what is the root, what is the cause of the irritation that we are experiencing right now, because I feel like there's more a lot of people that's going through irritating things. It's not just me. I have seen it. I have several coworkers that I've talked to. They said the same thing. That they it's just it's like something is always happening, or someone in their home is always disruptive and they don't know where it's coming from. So I said it isn't a coincidence. And I stop. I use that word sometimes, but I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe it. It is something that was orchestrated to push us. And so we're going to talk about that energy on tonight. And if this is your first time and you like this message, please like it. If you want to return and see what other topics and what other things that I'm going to talk about, please subscribe and definitely share it out to your friends and family that you feel and know could benefit from the messages, because they are timeless. And whenever spirit wants you to receive this message, you will receive it. I'm going to start off with one of my non traditional oracle decks, um, specifically because I saw three of the decks. Um, this one wanted to come out with these. I saw three of the decks even before I even got on my laptop, or got on YouTube. And I said, okay, I'm for sure going to see what's going on. Okay, this one wants to come out. I feel like there's one more. Ooh. Mm. There's definitely a presence here. Um, and I'm saying that because uh, just like Spider-Man has his spidey senses, I have spiritual senses, and sometimes they come as like a, I don't want to say a shock, but like a cold chill sometimes. And this one just came for sure. So the first, oh, okay. And two of these cards that came out first, these three came out together. So I'm going to read them in the order that I got them. But two of them are facing upside down, which means that these are strong cards that really need to be paid attention to, because these cards, I don't have a definition of, oh, the the dark side or the bad side, however you want to phrase it. And this first one says Orun, joy and light. And okay, thank you, Spirit. Spirit gave me the clarification already. So this is what I would kind of say is the sun card for this deck. That's how I've always viewed this. And the fact that it says joy and light. And it's in the pay attention to it because some of you are being attacked because of the joy and the light that you carry inside. And so when those entities that I talked about earlier, if they are on the opposing side, that means they are with sadness or anger and darkness. You are literally an opposing force to them. So they will try to do any and everything to turn off that light, to get rid of your joy. But if you stay steadfast in that and in knowing the light that you carry is so much powerful than them, it's nothing they can do. They can do and try any and everything, and guess what? You'll still end up on top. You will still end up on top. The next is creation solo magic. And so some of you, what I'm getting out of this already is that some of you are trying to connect with people that you don't need to connect with. You may be they may be respectful, or people that you respect or see in a high regard, but that doesn't mean that they are necessarily for you. Sometimes what's the saying, everything that we want is not really good for us. And that is what I'm getting out of this energy, especially since it's saying practice on the solo magic. um Okay, I'm getting another intercept with this, but I'm going to finish this thought. So whenever if you've ever been in a situation where you're like, I'm always trying to connect with this group, but it seems like things just fall through. If you're always trying to connect with another person and they always fall through, that is spirit's way of saying, I don't want you to connect with them. I don't need you. I know the things and I see the things that you don't see, and that's not for you. That's not your cup of tea. That's not your cup of joe. Leave it alone. And these are your warning signs that are done in a peaceful way. Frustrating as it can be, it's peaceful. I guarantee. The other thing that was the other message that was coming in was that for some of you, you do have to focus on the magic that you produce because you are relying on others too much. Meaning that the things that you want to manifest, you can manifest by yourself. However, when you feel the need that you're not enough, you are downplaying your own power. You're downplaying your own magic, right? And when you do that, you listen to other people. Now, there's so many other readers on the YouTube space, on the Instagram space, on the social media space, and there are some that have their own stores, and they will tell you, hey, you have to do certain things. You want to manifest money, light a green candle, put your intentions underneath it, use this oil, use my bath salts, use my cologne, perfumes, what have you. And that may work for some people, but you may try it and it may not work for you. And that's because spirit is wanting you to tap into your own energetic source to pull from it. It is the same as when you hear some readers to say, tap into your ancestral energy. Your ancestors want you to hone in on the power that you have within, because especially when you, I feel like some of you, and I'm going to say this very lightly, and it's because of I have a very huge family, but I feel like some of you are my cousins and we just don't know it yet, because it's the way that this new message just dropped into me. So I'm saying that. So if we find out later we're cousins, hey cousin. But for some of you, you come from a long line of practitioners, whether you know it or not. For some of you, you've come from a long line of people who do things naturally that other people have to learn, and do things naturally that other people pay to learn how to do. Because there's a difference. There's some people who learn on their own, and some people who actually pay to get happy, and you to go through the class. But you may do it naturally and not even know it. And that is your family saying, you already come with the sauce. You already come with the sauce. Why are you going to the store to buy extra sauce when you already have it within? And so that's what these other cards are coming from. And so with that, it's like there's an internal struggle within, because you're trying to figure out what is happening when it's nothing to figure out. You just have to do it. um Gwangwani Jamai, sexuality. I'm not going to show this card. I'll show it covered. Right, she's there, and she has um dolphins, three dolphins with her. It's giving me like the celebration card, uh, because dolphins are celebratory animals. And since it's saying sexuality right after, now mind you, those three came together. With solo magic, usually that's about doing things to pleasure oneself when you're by yourself, to tap into that magic. Um, and so for some of you, you are this light being. You have all of this light, but you may be one that is by yourself a lot, and you're trying to figure out why. And so if you when a part of your joy is having to explore sexually, a part of your joy, and it's to bring you that inner joy. Like, I have seen people. I'm hold on. I'm gonna say this, and this isn't spiritual me. This is the natural version of myself. I know for a fact that sex can bring a type of joy and a type of energetic exchange in people, because I have witnessed. I had a manager at one of my jobs, and she was mean. She was always on edge. And her husband had been stationed overseas for like 2, 3 years. And all of a sudden he was coming home, and she started wearing makeup, and like she's naturally a very beautiful woman. But it's like she wasn't taking care of herself. Like, she wasn't dolling herself up. She wasn't showing self-love, right? And so she started doing these things, and I was like, and I looked at her and I said, and I'm not gonna say that we used to clash. We used to have moments where we clashed, because she was so dry and like, rather like, ugh, like, just get it together. Get these things together, and that was how she was. And so a lot of people avoided her. But I was like, no, I think there's another side to her that we don't see. Like, I just always had that. I'm like, I know something's off. Something's off. Like I said, I've always been an intuitive person, and this was before I even tapped in. However, tapped into my own gifts. Let me be clear. However, the thing that I did notice was, once I started, when she started talking to someone, or I mean, she was like, "Yeah, my husband's coming home, and I'm excited," and she started, her Carol character changed, and I said, "Wow," and I was like, "Girl, I like this version of you," and she's like, "What do you mean? I didn't change." And we looked at her, we was like, "Yes, you have." And I said, and I told her, I said, it's not a bad change. I said, but it's good to see this lighter version of you. It's good to see you happy, because it seemed like you were always down. And she said, really? And I said, yes. I said, there are some people who didn't want to be around you. And I would tell them, like, she's not that bad. And I said, I just think it's something wrong. I can't believe I was actually telling her this, but I was telling her, I was like, I think that there's more to her that we don't know. And I also think that there's something that we just don't know. It's something happening maybe at home or something. And then that's when she told me about her husband had been overseas and now he's finally coming home. And so it's taking a lot of pressure off of her. And I said, that's what it is. When you have to take care of home, what seems by yourself and your significant other isn't there. That is a lot of pressure. And so when he came home, some grown things happened, right? And she was bopping in there then. And we were like, it was me and a few others who knew what was going on. We just looked at each other. We said, mm-hmm. and just laughed it off. We was like, we know, we know. And so there is this energetic exchange when it comes to sexuality, when it comes to being sexual. And it's also important to understand that we can be off when there aren't enough sexual energy flowing within. So, yeah, if you've been a hothead lately, just off of a whim, you might want to go to the toy store. You might want to call that friend, that special friend that you have. Now, unless the cards say otherwise, because we haven't finished, you may need to make a phone call. Oshun. Now, Oshun is coming. Today has been an Oshun day for me. I'm just going to say that. Um, it has been an Oshun day for me. And it says justice. So for some of you, you're going through things, but you're going to get justice for everything that you're going through. And so it's like that one last pit against from the other side to get you to remember how I said, like, it'll, with the sun card, it'll make you, it'll try to destroy your light, it'll try to destroy your joy. It's like that one last pit, it's that final struggle. Like, I got one more shot. I can't miss this chance. Let me try one more time to bring them down, and maybe this will be the one. Not knowing that you already have the justice was already made. The justice was made before you was born. That at a certain time, these attacks and things will stop. And so, with this card coming out, it lets me know that for some of you, you're at the end, and so this is just that one last plight to try to see if they could win. It's a no. And it comes, or this card comes after this, bliss. And what does that keyword say? Trust. Trust spirit. Trust that spirit has in your well-being in their hand. Spirit is not going to allow you to fall or fumble. Spirit knows what you carry inside. Spirit knows that the light that you carry inside is also the light that connects you with spirit. I do want to say this. Now, there are some, spirit also have children of the dark that are not necessarily evil, but they are able to wield the darkness. So if you are one that is of darkness, but you're a child of spirit in that way, that you can wield for the power of good using dark energy, same difference. Um, what so what I'm saying is and I know this is gonna sound funny, but I literally have a picture of Raven from Teen Titans floating around, like all the versions that I've seen, the cartoon, the real life. depiction of her, the anime version of her, the AI version of her. Like I'm seeing them all. And what I'm seeing is that it you can't, for some of you, you can't help your true nature. It's in your true nature. But what you can do is hone in on the type of energy. Again, you have justice on your side. So if there is a change, justice determines when that change will happen. I have no idea why I'm going this direction, but this is where I'm being led to go. So when justice has been performed for you, it doesn't matter where you start, it doesn't matter where you end, because, or where you think you will end, I should say, because your true ending will come the way it's supposed to. Meaning that you may start off in a dark space, but you may end up being light, but you had to will the darkness first. And you have to will the darkness so that you can help others, because you it's that it goes along with experience. That's the word I'm hearing right now, is experience. So let's see. I have experience with skincare. I've done it since I was a teenager. And so there are certain things that I know can work for people, and there are certain things that I know cannot work for people. And so it's like when somebody comes to me and say, "Hey, I have this particular skin, I have this particular rash on my face, and I don't know where it's coming from." Um, and I'm like, "Well, we go through the questions. What have you used lately? Have you switched up on new products?" And it could be, it's like, "Oh, okay. So what are you eating?" Right? And then I find out that the rash is not really a rash at all, but it's just a type of eczema that this person. Oh, okay. Well, let's try to switch up these soaps, because you can no longer use these soaps on your face. You can no longer use these products. If you have eczema, you should not uh, purchase things that dry out your skin, because that makes it worse. It makes it burn and itchy. So you have to put moisturizer and or different type of natural oils back into the area. And so I know that because I have the experience. So when you are a child of the darkness and somebody is talking about, "Oh, well, maybe I need to use dark magic," or I think somebody's used dark magic on me, you will be the person that'll be able to tell, "Oh, no, that's not dark magic, sweetie. That's a karmic. That's a karmic situation that you're going through. I don't know what you did, but it was surrounding X, Y, and Z, and that's why I see it, because I see it." Right. You will become the expert so that you can wield it for good. The last card that came out in this particular deck is Nana Baruko. I love her, and it's the essence. Your essence, your very essence, disturb people. So going back to the person that may be wielding darkness, right? Your very essence, as somebody who carries dark energy, people will not like you, because that's just evil person, that evil person, evil person. And you're just like, "But I can be good." But you look at my outward appearance, you look at how I dress, you look at how I speak, and you prejudge me, and you won't give me a chance. And it's like that black sheep energy. But it's like your very essence is what disturbs people, not your outward appearance. And it goes along with those that carry light, being around people of darkness, or that is being used by darkness. And when you carry that light and it disrupts people, it just naturally makes you an enemy of people. And it's something that you cannot control. It's just your very essence. And I have come to realize that that's what it is with me. Um, and so I don't fight it anymore, but I do. I'm very big on respect. You will respect me. You don't have to like me. We don't have to be best friends. We don't have to be bosom buddies. But as long as I'm showing you respect, you have no reason to disrespect me. None. And so, this is not the cards. We're going to get into some more. Because for some of you, I think there are specific situations that are happening, whether they are karmic, whether they are entities, or whether they are internal. Because let's face it, our internal essence can also be a cause for how we do things. Okay. So this card says pregnancy test, unsure, pregnancy scare, positive and negative. So for some of you, it may be surrounding a pregnancy, whether you know that your other half or the person is pregnant or not. It's giving creeping, somebody creeping around. That's what I'm getting. Then we have sexual protection. I am going to show you this card so you could pregnancy test. The next one that came out, sexual protection. Or since we were talking about sexuality, let me see what this next card is, because I also feel like this is a warning. Um, since sexual protection is coming after pregnancy, in order to prevent a pregnancy, you might want to use sexual protection, because you don't know how the entities are working. It could be it's working through your sexuality, your sensualness, right? Yeah, falling apart, falling into pieces. You know how when some people, when they are highly emotionally strong, some people turn to sex as the outlet. And you could have an unwanted pregnancy because of it. For some of you, it's money issues. This is bank failure. But what I'm getting is that it's not a you thing. It's literally something that happened with your bank, whether they have told you about it or not. So for some of you that are having financial struggles, I would check with the bank to see if there has been an error on their part. Because sometimes, something happened to me recently, and and I found out later that there was an update. And so whenever they do these system updates, sometimes things get a little wonky. Total drama and action. Emotional intelligence. I was just about to say that I think there's another card coming with this. So when it comes to, so for some of you, you're in situations where there's an emotional talent breakdown with a person, or they're not emotionally intelligent. So you have this drama when it comes to this certain person. Um, and when it comes to that certain person, you can love them. I just noticed that on the card. You can love them, but it doesn't mean that you need to be around them right now. They have to, as I said, that I just heard karmic, because sometimes you have to let people and things go in order to clear out energy. Um, I had someone, a friend, to kind of stay with me for a while, and the energy in my home became like twisted and stuff. And there were times, and if you see a few videos, you may actually hear him. because he was arguing with his girlfriend. And one of the things about it is that when there are people in your space that has just it's their energy is not quite right, it can start to fill your space no matter who you are. And so I was always removing energies. There's been times where people have imprinted themselves in my home, and I had to remove that energy. And so imprinting is a very serious thing. And I will get into imprinting on another episode. But I do want to say that um, whenever people come into your space, you should always clear out their energy. You should always clear it out because you never know what else they are carrying with you or with them that will attack you. Oh, who is running away? So for some of you, you're experiencing these traumas and these things because you are running away from who you are. Oh, this card just flipped out. Let's see. Huh. What does it say? Tantric sex. You are running away from who you are. And since Tantric Sex has come out the deck, it also lets me know that not only are you running from who you are, you could be running away from the person that you are meant to marry, that the person that you are meant to be with. And I'm still seeing and hearing karmic. Excuse me. I'm still seeing in hearing karmic because it is the thank you, spirit. I haven't used this term in so long. I said, what is the term? Um, your twin flame is what I'm getting. So for some of you, you're literally trying to run away from your twin flame, but your twin flame has corrected the issue that made you split in the first place, and now they're coming back to you. And for some of you, you're meant to be with this person. It's aligned with your destiny in some sort of way. And then for others, you're just running from your destiny, who you're meant to be in this world. Um, yeah. And remember, I'm giving everybody the fullness of what I'm seeing because this is a generalized reading. So as if it was in person, if you were here in person or wanted a personal reading, I could pinpoint it out for you. But because it's generalized, take what you know strikes you from your heart space, right? I thought more than one card fell out. We have adventure to fall out. Embrace adventure as a journey of exploration and discovery. It adds excitement and growth. So that it's leading me back to the runaway card from the other deck because sometimes, remember when I said earlier, it's like sometimes the struggle isn't a struggle, it's a push to go to the right direction. And that's what this is. So for some of you, it is a series of tasks. That's how I'm seeing it. It's a series of tasks. So, and I kind of related this. I want to say it was last week to like Hercules. Like and I'm talking about the Disney version of Hercules. Remember Hercules? Once he was a teenager, he had to go through a series of tasks that was set up by his father. to prove that he could be a demigod, right? To get his demigod status. And that's what it's giving me. It's giving, for some of you, you're going through a lot of things right now, but they are a series of tasks that you had to do, that you're having to do as you're running towards your destiny, whether you know it or not. So it is an adventure. Okay. Spirit told me to take this card. Ooh, regret. Reflect on lessons from regret with forgiveness and growth. Each moment is a chance for renewal. So for some of you, there's some things that you regret, and Spirit is saying that don't don't allow what you went through or how you handled the situation to keep you in that space. The thing about regret is you have to let regret go. You have to allow that energy of forgiveness to take place within. And that is when you forgive yourself of your actions or for allowing certain things to happen. What you're telling spirit is that I acknowledge the fact that I was in the wrong or that I did something wrong. And I now want to balance those scales. And that's what clears up karma. So conspiracy has come through. See through the veil. Trust in your instincts to cover unhidden truths. And we talked about this earlier, right? So use your intuition. Spirit is saying you have the gift. Trust your trust your power. Trust your magic. Trust your sight. Because it is truly something for you. See, I was going to keep shuffling, and Spirit said you're going to keep shuffling when this card fell out. Jump right out my hand. And it's vision. Clarify your vision for the future. It guides goals and inspires meaningful actions. So, yes, use your gift. What are you seeing? What are you writing down in your dream journals or your journals after you've had a vision? Because I'm picking up that some of you are seers as well. You envision stuff, but you shy away from it because you're like, I don't want to see that, or I don't know how to handle that. And spirit is like, that is no longer an excuse. You see what you see, you hear what you hear, and you know what you know. Now apply it, because some of that is actually what I'm getting, it just dropped down, is that some of you are walking around in circles, and that's because you're not following your own intuition. Like, you can stop walking in that circle, because um it's almost like you have the answer key within. You have the map to get out of here to go to there, but you refuse to use it. You refuse to use your internal GPS strength, and you have the strength to do it. And it says, discover inner strength through perseverance and resilience. It builds confidence and character. Yes. So I don't want to say a lot of you. I, I I wish I could give you a percentage of you, like an exact percentage. I can't. It's not coming through. Although I'm seeing 35%. So if you have a phone and it's on 35%, if you're looking at something and you see 35%, this message is for you. For sure. But you have to tap into your that strength. That is your strength. Again, for some of you, that is a strength that comes from your family, your bloodline. So tap into that strength. Dreams. Pursue dreams with passion and determination. They inspire growth and achievement. Some of you are afraid of your dreams, um, because you kind of give up. You say, I don't think that they're coming through, but I mean, I don't think that they will be able to happen. They were not. You know, I have a dream of becoming a well-known photographer, but where I live, it's very it's a very small town. I don't see myself getting big. Stop saying that, because that's what's causing some of the turmoil in your life. Because so spirit uses certain things to happen to gear us in the right direction. But when you talk yourself out of those things, every time spirit gets ready to open up a door for you based off of spirits, I don't want to say interaction with you, but it is like a intercept. It's there we go. Intercept. So and we all know in football, you know, when they say that the football has been intercepted by the opposing team, and then now the ball is in their possession and they're going to their goal. It's like every time spirit wants to work on something for you, you intercept it with your words. The spirit is saying stop for sure. I felt like that was one. Oh, and this one came out in reverse. This is another card that there's no dark side to this. This is one that you have to really pay attention to. And a lot of what I've been saying, especially when it comes to the dreams, you're tapping into your own power, all boils down to this word, and that is love. It says celebrate love in all its forms. It nurtures connections and brings joy to the heart. When you have a hard time loving yourself, you allow certain things to happen. You allow yourself to remain in a space. You kind of allow. No, it's not kind of. You allow your life's work to be interrupted, especially when you don't do what you know you're supposed to be doing. And what happens is spirit is not really chastising you. Spirit wants you to wake up to the fact that you have to change something, because if you don't change it, you're going to miss out on what spirit has, everything that spirit has for you. And it's like that child who has this long Christmas wish list, and the parents say, okay, now you know Santa Claus is looking for who's naughty or nice, and you know the child believes it, but then the child just for whatever reason can't seem to stop acting up, and so the parents like, okay, I'm gonna either return this present or I'm gonna hide it. This You're not getting this present until later, right? There's some parents who do that, and so it's not until this person realizes what they're doing, how they're sabotaging their own life, their own walk, their own path, that they, once they realize it, right? Excuse me, it is late here. Once they realize that they are sabotaging their own path, some people stop. And then there's others who don't know how to stop their path. And when, oh, got it. So, and when they do understand that they are sabotaging their path, they some people make the necessary changes, maybe baby steps, but they make the necessary changes. Spirit just told me to reflect on the yawning, and it's spirit was saying that for some of you, it's drawing out so long. You're tired. You your tiredness is a battle For some of you, you don't realize that your tiredness is the battle, because you may have sat here and said, well, I'm fine. Like I don't have all of those struggles. I'm not around that many people. But Spirit is saying that if you have been tired lately, extremely tired, whether you know it or not, you could be warring spiritually, which means that while you're asleep, your spirit is warring something. I'm gonna pull one more card out of this. Oh. So, what I did was I have a scripture deck, and I'm gonna read them to you. So the first one is Psalms 34:17, and it says, "When the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and rescues them from all their troubles." So let Spirit know what you're going through. Let Spirit know what you are going through. Let Spirit know what you are going through. Let Spirit um, give all the matters of your heart to Spirit, and watch how Spirit works in your favor. The next says is Philippians 4:7. The peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Now, I talked to you all about that earlier, how I carry this peace with me. This is scripture. And I know some people don't really subscribe to the Bible. So if you don't, it does not negate that these words are matching. It does not negate that there's some sort of divine connection there. Especially if you practice hoodoo, you realize that the scripture use is a powerful portion of it. And it goes with this the saying that peace beyond understanding, right? So well, I mean, it says that too, which transcends all understanding. You may not understand why you are a peaceful nature, or having a peaceful nature, when your world is crashing around you, right? For some reason I'm thinking about the World Trade Center, not the not 9/11. Let me put it's like literally the World Trade Center. When the stock market crashes, sometimes there was a time where there were a lot of suicidal deaths because people couldn't handle it. And so that's the reference that I'm getting. And it's like whenever these things happen with the World Trade Center, it's like some people had the stamina to get through that without resulting to harming themselves, because some not everyone died, is what I'm getting. There is a lot, but then there are some survivors, and then they have to go through survivor's guilt and all that. And but yeah, just know that there's a peace that will keep you from even that. Then it says, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe." So, Spirit is definitely saying, run to me with your problems, give it to me, and allow me to guide you continuously. And I think it's funny, because this is also a card that will say, run to the calamity that's happening into your life. Because what I'm seeing is the Tower card, you running to the Tower card for safety, knowing that the Tower card is a card of disruption. The Tower card disrupts the norm. So instead of running away, run to your destiny. And as you're running to your destiny, you're running to a tower. You're running into tower moments. So don't forget that. And the last one, oh yeah, that was Proverbs 18:10. I don't think I shared that. Proverbs 18:10. The next one is Jeremiah 29:11. So hold on, that's the last one. This is one where I stated earlier, sometimes the road that you're supposed to walk on was mapped out even before you were born. This is that clarification card. Jeremiah 29:11 reads, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. And in some versions of this scripture, it says to give you a future and an expected end. And its spirit has written out our destinies before we even enter this plane. And so when we recognize how much I don't want to say spiritual influence we have, but I guess it is, once we realize that the things that we went through and our easy moments were because we were walking with spirit during those times. We were guided by spirit those times to get us to our destiny. And that is all I have, collective. I do want to say that I do hope you get the instruction that fit you, that fit your situations the best. I still keep seeing the it's the sexuality card with the three dolphins. I keep seeing that as the celebration card. And so what I'm getting out of that is you can still celebrate even in the space that you're in now, because again those are just trips and tricks of the opposing side of your energy to get you to quit from growing. But you should never stop growing. Never stop growing, no matter who says what, how they say it. Do not stop growing, because the fruit that you bear or will bear will be the lifeline for other people. And so when you don't give up, the fruit doesn't give up, because the fruit now has a base for which it stands on. It goes back to what I was saying about the experience, right? For those who do the darkness, or who are going through that dark, through those dark classes, that's what I'll call it right now. You'll gain an experience that the other people around you will not have. And because you have that experience, you now have a different perception of the darkness. And I can honestly say, I heard that I had a conversation with an older, or I would say a wise woman once, and I began to share with her that, oh, I want to, thinking about going to get my PhD, and I just finished my master's in public health, and like 2 years ago, so I think I got enough, and I've been in this space for quite some time. I think I got enough, and she said, no, you're not ready. And I said, she said, no, keep working until you're ready. And I was like, wow. And I have seen, now I'm not knocking, if this is you, I'm not knocking it at all. But I have seen a lot of people that go from undergrad to PhD level. And one of the things that they say is that it's hard. And yes, I'm sure it is very hard work. I'm sure that it is hard work. But when you come with a lot of experience with something, and you go to that level of education, what happens is you take all your experiences and what you're learning in class, you're able to see, because you're able to make those connections. For example, if you knew a lot about plants and you take, I don't know, I'm going to use health because that's my field. You use health, you decide to switch over to this health um, course, or major, and they begin to talk about poisons, and the different usage of medical warfare. Let me put it that way. As somebody who studied plants, yes, I know it's called botany. Um, you have an advantage because whenever you start talking about plants, oh baby, you're where you want to be, and you can help your classmates because you're able to tell them, no, this chemical, this formula will not work because the essence of this plant will negate the essence of this plant, and it's almost like it diffuses, so it's not going to be a proper bomb. So, but you need to add this plants and this herb or this chemical to get the reaction that you want. And nobody else would really get that except for you because you have been working with plants. So make sure, and I'm hearing this now, make sure that you get rid of what needs to be get rid of, and make sure that you cling on to what needs to be clung to. I just heard this. The power of your essence is the pearl of perfection. The power of your essence is the pearl of perfection. For some of you, and I shared it earlier, that thing that you're holding inside that you refuse to share with the world is the same as when the clam gets irritated and it starts to grow that pearl inside. And when that pearl is growing inside, it takes on the sediments and the characteristics of the clam that the clam now pushes out or holds in a spot. Pearls are literally irritants, right? So take those irritants in your life and turn them into pearls. Turn them into pearls because they're pushing you further along than what you know. So thank you again for tuning into Cards and Conversations. I look forward to seeing you on next week. And I'm hearing the song "Listen to Your Heart." Who was that by? Um, what they say it's like Roxette. I I'm being led to read you these lyrics really quickly, so I'm going to do that really quickly. Just it's like it's a certain verse. The spirit wants me to read to you before we leave. That's okay. It's in verse 2. Verse 2 reads, sometimes you wonder if this fight is worthwhile. The precious moments are all lost in the tide. Yeah, they're swept away, and nothing is what it's is nothing. Excuse me, they're swept away, and nothing is what it seems. The feeling of belonging to your dreams. And remember, the dream card did come out. So, yes, listen to your heart. When he's calling for you, listen to your heart. There's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why, but listen to your heart before you tell him goodbye. Um, and although it's saying it's using he, right? You can even say, listen to your heart when it's calling for you. Listen to your heart. There's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why, but listen to your heart before you tell it goodbye. And I'm saying it because Spirit is also allowing me to see that for some of you, you can easily go into a cold space and say, you know what, I give up. I'm not going to be that warm hearted person that I am normally. And Spirit's like, don't change. Don't change your essence for anybody. Remember that sun card. Do not allow those opposing forces to change your true essence. Continue to be who you are authentically. Okay? And with that, I do say good night.